football just kind of make it work.
That's right.
Yes. Well, it's your girl Kawashika from Can We Talk Sports. I am a sports mom. Listen, I'm in the health and wellness business. Yeah, so we need to make sure moms we stay healthy, right?
Right?
Yeah, so got my son just graduated from USC with his
Okay.
masters. Woo,
Oh,
woo, woo.
wow.
So
Yes.
we're gonna continue to move forward, but I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. Please follow us on IG, Facebook, and YouTube. If you go on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the thumbs up, guys. Then follow us on Facebook. Share. Please have your friends and family follow us on social media. So,
Yeah.
guys, what's going on?
Nothing. You know what? I am ready for my grandbaby to go back to school. Cause most people be ready for their kids, but I'm ready for my grandbaby because she's like, Granny, I'm hungry. So I am ready for her to go back to school. What you got going on?
Yes. My 5-year-old, great personality. It's time to go back to school.
Well, I'm an empty nester, but I'll be happy when my son gets to come home for a little bit. He's home actually now for a few days, but I'm ready for him to go back just so the season can start. They start first game September the 3rd. This is his
Oh,
comeback year. He had injury or
Yes, come
surgery.
on.
He transferred from the
Yes.
University of Kansas. Now he over there with one of his old high school coaches, McGuire, before he left and went
Oh.
to the other side. So it's on for
Okay.
Jordan Brown.
yes. That is wonderful. Well, listen, you guys, let's just go ahead and get right in it and
Yes.
let our guests introduce themselves and tell us all about who they are and who their sons
So my name is Tasha C. Strong. I am the mother of James Prochet, number 3 for the Ravens. So comeback year. So you guys stay tuned. Very excited about where he is. More importantly, excited about where God is taking him. Very humble, very blessed. So I'm just excited, very excited. And thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, well, thank you guys for having me. My name is Nisa Muhammad. My son is AJ Green. He plays for the Cleveland Browns. 38. I call him 38 special. He's very
Right,
special.
right. I like that.
So he's a product of DeSoto, graduate of DeSoto High School, went to Oklahoma State University. This is his third year in the NFL, this third season. And like Tasha said, I'm just excited to where God has put him. He's in the right place, I believe, at the
Mhm.
right time. Just praying for protection over him at all times, but especially during the season. So I'm excited to be here as well.
I just thought that, with DeSoto U, that is, DeSoto, Texas, that is, we put so many kids into college. And those kids, our claim to fame is that our kids graduate college. They have degrees. And so, because of that, so many of them become eligible for the draft. And so that's why I was like, we need to bring our moms in to create some kind of bond, there's some kind of community of sports mom giving back, those who have made it to be able to impart in those who are coming. And so I was just like, okay, I got to have my girls on, my girls. So let's just jump right in. And can you kind of tell us, was there anything that surprised you once your sons made it to the professional world? Was there something like, wait a minute, I didn't know this was happening like this?
So for me, um, at the collegiate level, you have some that are great, but at the professional level, everybody's great, obviously, right? Because they're playing professional football. So James didn't have a lot of playing time, his first couple years there. And for me, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I'm not used to my son sitting on the bench. But I had to kind of sit back and analyze the situation and knowing like everybody here is great, at this level. So it was kind of a situation where I had to kind of turn to God and say, I had to pray. And as I started to see things unfold, it kind of started to make sense to me. And above all, it's a business like anything else, So that was a surprise to me. But
Yeah.
Really quick before we jump to the next subject, or to finish the question. Yeah, I noticed y'all both have your son's jerseys on.
Yes.
Um, tell us how you what it felt like when you knew you went and bought your son's jersey that was
Mm.
an NFL player. This wasn't you making your jerseys from high school or getting a jersey from. They have reached their one of their ultimate dreams or their ultimate dream. How did it feel, and what was your experience in buying that jersey, knowing this your son is playing in the National Football League?
Because when I first actually because you learn very quickly that it's a business. So when AJ was first, he was undrafted. So when he first signed with the Browns, when he signed his contract, I was like, I'm not buying a jersey. So I had, hey, I go back to my DeSoto and Oklahoma State roots, and so I just had a shirt. They sell an NFL, like it's an official shirt, but it has his number on the back. But it was a T-shirt because I know this is a business, and I know he can walk in there tomorrow and they can say, you know, yeah, or no thanks, so, or one or the other. So I didn't actually buy one. I waited till to his second season. And when I did buy it, like actually my brother had got one before me, my sister. They had, but I'm in the trenches with him, so I'm like, oh, they not getting my money, not yet. But when I did, I ordered it, and I was like, and when it came, I was like, oh my god. So then now I'm like, okay, well, you got to sign mine first. So I had him actually sign it, but it was funny because in the beginning, because I just knew how much of that actually what surprised me, how much of a business it turns into, like from the day they graduate college. Um, yeah, I didn't buy one, so
so for me, it was exciting. He didn't have the number that he wanted, so it was like, but we all bought the jerseys, my family, everybody. And then like this year, his number changed. So I'm like, I gotta buy another jersey, you know. So but it's exciting. It's even more exciting when you can put it on and you can wear it. You wear it in confidence, and it's just a feeling. Like you can't really describe it.
Especially knowing his had a meaning behind that number three.
That number
Right.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to what I said, um, God has a plan, and it just all starts to reveal itself. So yeah.
So, ladies, we have a game that we like to play.
Not the
Would
game.
you rather? Listen, listen, listen. So, my question is starting with you. Would you rather be the smartest person in the world or the popular person?
oh, definitely the smartest.
I agree. I agree.
You agree?
I agree. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
My question is, would you rather be blind or deaf?
Oh, Jesus.
Mm.
I would rather be blind,
Did that.
because if I'm deaf, like I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. If I'm blind, I can still hear. I can't see, but I can still hear.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would rather be blind. Because I think I can, if I can hear it and then I can touch it, I can get around a little better.
I want to see what's going on.
I mean, in a perfect world, I would like to see, but if I had to pick, yeah, I would have to pick.
So
Yeah.
my question is, would you rather go a year without a cell phone or a year without music?
Music.
I can go without the cell phone.
That's easy, right?
Yeah, I can go without the cell phone. Yeah, I can. Yeah, but I need some music. For some of these long days, you have to have this music. So, yeah, I can go without the cell phone. Y'all know where I am. Just come by and see me.
So, did you want to comment on if was there anything that surprised you about the professional sports once you got there, once your son got there? I don't know why I keep saying once you got there because it's almost like it's a
Yeah,
package deal.
it
I
is.
mean, we did arrive
Mhm.
together.
That's right. It's a lot of
That's
sacrifice.
true.
It's a
A
lot.
lot of
So
sacrifice.
it was what surprised me the most was just how much of a business it is and um, how instant things happen. Like it seems like I know we've been on this journey for a while, but like when it happened, and I don't know if that was your experience, it was like so quick. Like contract was signed, you need to be flown out the next day. Um, they had accommodations for you, but then those are just temporary. It was that really surprised me that there wasn't more of I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't like a long term plan. It's like they're doing this right now, and then in a couple of weeks they need to be doing this, and in a couple of weeks they need to be doing this, and in the meantime they have to establish a life wherever they're going. But they're practicing, they're in meetings, and so that surprised me that it was just when it happened, everything just went so quickly. It just happened so fast, and I've wondered about people who didn't have like a good support system or a good, a lot of help because I wondered how would they manage, moving and getting things in place and setting things up without somebody here to help them or somebody being able to. So that really surprised me. And I'm like, that's how these agents making all their money. That's what I'm like, because I'm like, who is doing this? I kept asking AJ, like, your friends, who's helping them? He's like, I don't know.
So, moms, how did y'all son's success change our lives? Like, I know y'all lives was
Pick me,
changed.
teacher, pick me.
Yes, let's go.
So for me, I've always been a humble person. Like that's just my personality. So I've never allowed things or situations to change me. So for me, I was excited for him that he was able to fulfill his dream. I still get up and go to work. I still get up. My life has not changed in that aspect. Um, Again, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. More so for him, but for me, like it's just regular, everyday stuff. Nothing. I drive the same car. I live in the same house. You know, so and I think it's my personality. I've never allowed things to change who I am. I am who I am. So yeah.
Me
Yeah.
knowing him personally. So look, both since we're all from DeSoto, let's talk about the culture of DeSoto. Like, what do you feel like the culture of DeSoto like that's like no other?
Mm.
What do you
She's from
feel?
Cedar Hill, and she
But
came
you know
over.
what? At least I know the
She came
difference.
on the right side.
Okay, look now.
She
Initially,
has
let
on
me
green today.
look, let me straighten up in my seat a little bit. Let me get this straight. Now, my oldest was we're from the old Cedar Hill,
Okay.
the McGuire Cedar Hill, the Hall of Fame Coach Cedar Hill. He just happened to move, go on and level up. He went on and took out college, took the college job. It was several colleges that asked that man for a job years and years and years before it. He just would not leave those kids. He finally went, yeah, he went to Baylor and he coached over there. He coached 5 years there. In the course of his transition to college, my son Jordan, um, he still was under McGuire, but he was in middle school in ninth grade. Jordan's ninth At the end of Jordan's ninth grade year is when McGuire left, and Jordan cried like a newborn baby.
Mm.
Like McGuire been around Jordan since he's a little boy. He always say we only run with one speed, Longhorn speed, So, but that shift happened. We adjusted to the change as much as possible. Some things work, some things don't. We stuck around, but we had to. He just woke up one night in the middle of the night. It was just a little bit of. I believe in mental health, and my son's mental health wasn't intact when we left Cedar Hill. And so we had to talk about. I walked in my son's room one night, and he was on the floor bawling like a newborn baby. After he had just came out my room talking like he's good. So when I saw that, I knew something had to change, but I wanted him to make his own decision because we were on the borderline of where he could go whichever way. And so woke up one night in the middle of the night. He said, I love Cedar Hill. I love my boys, but it's time for me to go.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, are you sure? He was like, yeah, and I didn't ask him another question. And the next day he said, what, he's at class. What day am I leaving? I said, oh, he's serious.
Yeah.
And after that, I let him finish his finals and we did it the right way and no beef, no nothing. But he caught a little bit of bullying, but anyway, we transferred over and it worked out. Because the
Yeah.
first day,
That's initiation.
yeah, that's all it was. But the first day he was welcomed from the first day he was at DeSoto. A lot of those kids he played little league with anyways. He played for the DeSoto Dolphins. And fast forward from there, he it was like he had a chip on his shoulder. He jumped from that and first pass play of the game in his senior year, he took it to the house for 60 yards. He had television and he had one of the best seasons. You know, the transfer had a little bit issue with his recruitment, but it worked out best because one thing that I can respect is a man being a man of their word. And Claude Mathis is a man of his word. Everybody got their opinion, but he ain't never told me nothing or my son nothing that he did not follow up with, even since he's been gone. So to me, that's the difference from the Soto and the new Cedar Hill.
Mhm.
But with McGuire, he a man of his word as well.
Yeah.
Now my son is playing for McGuire at
Again.
Texas Tech.
Right.
Yeah.
God work in a mysterious
Yes, he
way. I don't
does.
think it's by
Yes, he
accident that
does.
my son always wanted to play for McGuire, and now look at you. You went through a little bit of adversity, and now you look up and get to play for the coach you always wanted to play for.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why I know I am at the U. Well, we were, and now everything. I be at all the U games with me and Miss Karen, as if all my kids. I graduated 3 kids from out of Cedar Hill.
Okay.
Yep, 2 daughters, and then my other son, who's the star running back over there at Cedar Hill.
Okay.
And so now it's like I don't miss a beat with
DeSoto.
She in the family.
Yeah. She had to teach me how to say it. What she say is the solo. Say it right. She had to teach me.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that was kind of long and drawn out, but I had to just explain
Yeah.
Yes.
why I'm so diehard.
Right.
Yeah.
You give me your word, you got mine.
Right.
That's true. I think that's part of the culture too that I really liked about DeSoto was when I first talked to Coach Mathis, we discussed mental toughness. I really think mental health is a big thing, and the sport of sports in general is hard on the mental health of a person because you're they only have one body, and your body is what you use as your tool for that sport. And so it's inevitable that you're going to have injuries. Some people will be better than you, taller, faster, stronger. It's a lot to deal with. And so when we discussed mental toughness, and he talked about how he works with the boys about being mentally tough and mentally strong and staying focused, I was like, okay, this is somewhere where I could, because I didn't know that about DeSoto before. I just really thought, yeah, it was too much. Really. I was like, oh Lord, they too much. They extra all the time. But when I actually had that conversation with him, and like you said, Coach Mathis has never told me anything or told AJ anything that he wasn't able to follow through on. And AJ came from another school, and it was a rocky transition. And I mean, even with the defensive coordinator, that was something different too because AJ wasn't big. He wasn't, and he had a prototype in his mind of what he felt like the defensive back should look like, and AJ didn't look like that. So, but he could play, and so we had to have that conversation. So everything that it was open to us to say, look, tell us what we can do, so that he can make this next step because we don't see it. So you need to show us. And he was very open with that, with what needed to happen. So the culture there, what I really appreciated, like I said, was just the mental aspect, just keeping them grounded in their minds and understanding that things will happen and things will change, but you can't crumble under this pressure of what is football.
Yeah, and not talk about it and be about it, and they really care for the kids, and not just say they care.
Yeah. So that's the culture that I enjoyed. You know,
I would have to agree with everything she said. When James made the decision, or when we made the decision for him to transition into DeSoto, everything that Coach Mathis promised, or I mean, it it came to pass. So I would say very family oriented. Um, it was a great experience. I wish we had done it sooner,
Right.
but again, everything happens in God's timing, but I think once we got there, it just, it took off. Yeah. So it was a great experience. Yeah.
Well, we got to pay some bills. We're gonna pause right now and go to a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, guys. We're back from our break. And so we finna start with the moms, and we're talking about NFL and mom sisterhood. Yes. And tell us about that. Is there a sisterhood in the NFL moms with the NFL moms? Or y'all just come together?
I'm going to say nothing that I've seen, but I haven't seen it. So I
Okay.
can't say either way. Yeah. I think it's just a family type of deal.
Okay.
I don't think it's race specific. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think it's just a family. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely camaraderie in the NFL among the women, the moms, girlfriends, why every because I mean everybody is really has the same goal and everybody
Hmm.
understands like the what's happening as far as it's really an unwritten thing, but like you said, he's coming off of injury. In the NFL, the one thing they start telling you from the beginning is that injuries are inevitable.
Hmm.
So that kind of builds just, everybody wants to support one another
Hmm.
because it's going to be at some point in time that everybody's going to have to sit down, um, essentially. So I had the experience of actually meeting with professional football players mothers association, which I didn't know existed. And so that was a way for us to come together. We exchanged numbers. But in football, you also know that this season you can be here, and next season you can
Hmm.
be totally somewhere else,
Hmm.
or if even still in the league. So everybody is welcoming. It's a camaraderie there, but we all understand that this is, it's borrowed time,
Hmm.
basically.
I mean, do you think that that's what is why there is no gelling together or anything? Because you know that you can be here today, gone tomorrow, and so don't even put your feet in the
Possibly.
sand.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Possibly. Yeah.
possibly. And then because it seems like a long time, but if and you might not have it seems like it's so short. Like the time that they are, it's it's a lot, but it's not a lot of time. And then
Hmm.
so it's like from week to week, you look up and it's the end of the season.
Hmm.
And it's
Hmm.
like you don't, if I don't go to every game, so I'm
Right.
not there all the time to, to see people or meet with people, and I don't live in the place that my son plays. So
Hmm.
um really we have to lean on the people who have been around us this
Right.
whole time. So the sisterhood is really, with like my real sisters and my friend
Family.
circle, because
Hmm.
everything else is just so, I don't know. Even the players, like I always tell AJ, it's funny because in Cleveland, right after their exit interviews at the end of the season, like it's a ghost town. Like they are gone. Like the players are out. They are,
Wow.
very few of them actually live in Ohio. So who you who we being friends with?
Hmm. Yeah.
So so yeah, it's just like that. So that's why I think it may not be as close, because they travel a lot and there's just really not like a home base, I would
And
say.
then you have some that go to all the games. You have some that may go to some games. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
life is at different. People are at different stages in their lives,
Absolutely.
so it's probably hard to. Yeah, you know, it's just probably a little more challenging than most would think.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't imagine. I'm like, I'm gonna be at every game. I'm gonna quit my job and just
Oh, see, that was never.
see. But
Oh,
that's amazing that you guys are making us aware of that. And then the fact that, the boys, they're only living in that city or that state just for that season, and then they're out going.
yeah, because
going
soon
home.
as James gets the go, he back to Dallas. You
that's AJ. He on the first
like he
thing
back to Dallas,
smoking
like
out of
wasting
there.
no
He back
time.
on the field with D-Rock.
What?
Yeah,
Out of there. So yeah,
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 they're back home. Yeah, that quick. Like as soon as
like quick.
that exit
Yeah,
interview,
it's
turn that
very quick.
iPad in. It's like I'm
Oh,
out of
wow.
here.
And it
Yeah.
goes back to, when y'all said earlier, it's a business.
It's a
Mhm.
business.
It's a
It
business.
is.
It really is.
You come in, it's the dream.
Mm-hmm.
This is my dream,
Mhm.
NFL. And then once you make it, it's all about business.
Mhm.
Yep.
But the good thing is you get to, fulfill your dream
Right.
and, be about your business at the same time.
Right.
Right.
But where it sounds like it's really a business, it's time to go home.
Yep.
Yeah, it
That's it.
is. It's time. And they have a very short time to be home and to really relax before they're having to condition their bodies again for the next season. So,
And it's almost like you can't really, even in the off season, you still have to still work at it because you have to keep yourself, you know, in shape. You know, so it's really continuous. You know, it's a continuous.
And in that,
thing.
the thing about it, like with the short time my son was there with the Rams, I found out like if you're underweight, if you don't make weight almost per pound, they will fine you
oh, yeah.
$1,500 or
Wow.
up to, yeah, you can get fined like
Yes.
thousands of dollars per pound that you
Wow.
don't
But you
make.
know, I would notice James sometimes he would just jump on the scale and be jumping on
That's
the scale.
why.
Why he keep jumping on the scale?
You will get cut
You
by not
know,
making weight
it was he was very conscious,
Mhm.
conscious of his weight.
because
So
they don't want you over or under. Sometimes they
Mhm.
want you right there, or
Yeah.
they'll give you in between number. But if you don't make weight, you fine. You can literally get cut by not making weight.
Definitely. And definitely coming back from the off season. Like you said, it's not really an off season, but the
Mhm.
off season, if you come back not in shape, not in,
Oh, wow.
not making weight, then, that's frowned upon. And
Right.
then you could be, cut, or they could just send you home. They could just
Mhm.
say,
Look at it like you're not taking your job serious. And
right,
then on top of that, in those contracts, you think you can go play and have fun. You can't. It's in the contract. You can't do certain
oh,
extracurricular activities that can cause you injury because it's in your
Right.
contract.
it's
These are you can't
definitely
ski. What is it? Water ski.
water
You can't
skiing. You can't do ATV
motorcycle.
riding.
Yeah,
You can't ride a It's a
yeah,
lot.
because it's in
That's
your
Wow,
contract.
right.
really?
Because if you get hurt doing that, then you can, it could void your
it could
contract.
void your
Mhm.
contract because that means you breached it. It's a
Mhm.
lot of fine. It ain't fine print. You just gotta read
You
it.
You
just
gotta
have to
read
read
it.
it.
But
Right.
It ain't
it's a
fine.
lot.
It's
Yeah.
real.
It's a
in
lot.
there. You just gotta.
And how did y'all get your education on the contract? Did y'all read them or did y'all have
Oh,
somebody?
we went line by line. We had we have a friend, a family friend, who came over and read who went over the contract with AJ line by line, and because even your fee structure is, it's all in the contract. How you get paid, when you get paid, what you'll be fined for, everything is in there. And so, I mean, like you said, when you realize your dream, his last thing he wanted to do is read this 6-page contract, and it's
Yeah, like he ready to go
small.
play football. Like
Yes,
let's go.
it's he's ready to
Yeah.
go. And so, but no, we went he went over it line by line, talked to him, gave examples. So you understand this means this, and this
Mhm.
means, and that conduct detrimental to the team. I'm like, that could be anything. That could be
It's vague.
very
It's very
vague. It could
vague.
be
Yeah.
anything conduct detrimental to the team. I'm like, what about team conduct detrimental to my child?
Mhm.
Did you guys ever worry about the injuries aspect of it, like with your kids, either in high school or even now in
That's always at the forefront of my mind because it's a contact sport. and it's hard on your body, mentally, physically. So that's always. But again, you just have to keep them covered in prayer, and you got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So.
And one thing, when they get injured in college or high school, it's kind of tough, mainly college, because now you have this jacket of your injury prone on your, which
Mhm.
messes with your draft grade.
Mhm.
And so in my son's situation, he had surgery, the one that's in college now, but it wasn't an injury where he got hurt on the field.
Mhm.
It was a growth spurt that took place in high school.
Mhm.
He was only 5'5" coming out of ninth grade. And all of a sudden, going into his sophomore, junior year, he just jumps up 3 or 4 inches. And a lot of times they say the growth plate separates. Sometimes it just messes with people's knees.
Mhm.
And him, he had a little situation took place. It brought him down. It's kind of what kind of messed him up a little with Cedar Hill. And fast forward, after it healed, that obviously was a lingering injury.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played with it. I think his body just got used to thinking, oh, I guess this is normal.
Right.
So anyway, going into his second year of KU, he had there was a tear in there, but they said it was common in a lot of college and NFL athletes.
Mhm.
It was a labrum. People were used to labrum tears being for quarterbacks in the shoulder, but his was in his hip. And so he gets frustrated because he's like, I know they're gonna think I'm injury prone. I'm like, well, Jordan, it's not injured. You didn't get injured on the field. You kind of got injured from growing.
Yeah.
But in his mind, and I don't know how they truly look at it, but I do know that makes a big
Oh yeah.
deal. I know that.
It definitely does.
James sustained an injury going into DeSoto. It was an acute kidney injury from dehydration, and he had to, sit out some games. But it was very shocking. It was tough mentally, for me. So I can imagine what he went through. But it was a learning experience, in regards to taking care of yourself and the importance of doing certain things to make sure that you're physically fit to be able to play the sport, yeah, and to recover exactly. So, yeah, it was very challenging, but it's always at the forefront, But I think when you're at the professional level, they teach you, how to tackle, how to go down. There's a way to do it. So I think if you abide by that,
And I shouldn't say believe it or not, but also at the professional level, there is so much more emphasis placed on like taking care of your body
hmm
and rest and recovery,
hmm
massage, like all different types of things
hmm
that you can do to really take care of your
hmm
body. Not everybody does it, and that's why it's very hard. Like I tell AJ all the time, I could never do what you do because I like cookies too much. And I just like to sit down sometimes.
Yeah,
I
and do
don't.
nothing.
I'm like He sent me a picture, and I was laughing at him because it was they were doing their photos for the team, and it was one like he was screaming, but he was doing like a lunge. And I was like, in Zumba, I have that same face because I'm like, I don't like working out that much. I don't
Yeah.
like, but he has learned. I can say in college they do it a little, but in the professional on the professional level, they really take a lot of time with them in doing, like, he's doing things that I would cracking up on him. He does cupping. He does, what's the way they stick a little pin? Acupuncture.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jordan,
He-
did like
he's-
clockwork.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
these are things that, when he was in college, he never, that never crossed his mind. So injuries are like at the forefront. You come in knowing they're playing a contact sport.
hmm
More than likely there is a chance,
Right.
and they say not if but when, that they will have an injury.
Right.
But they really do focus on the nutrition part.
I was gonna say nutrition is
yeah.
very big. Yeah.
Nutrition,
very big.
hydration,
Mhm.
and just taking care of your body, doing
Mhm.
those, putting the investing in taking care of your body, because it all, this is AJ had these things. They look like when you go get your toes done, that they put in between your toes for your pedicure. He was walking around with these things on. I was like, what are you doing? What is that? He's like, no, these help. They spread your toes, which aligns your knee, which helps your hip. And I was like,
Wow.
well, why are we just not walking around with it? I walk around too. I need that too. So So they have so much that they really try, and I mean, it's nothing that they can do to avoid the how strenuous it is on their bodies. But I can say that he has learned a lot about taking care of his body. Um, and that's probably why, as soon as whenever he's finished playing football, he's probably gonna be fat because because he's probably not gonna do any of it anymore.
Now, how have you guys been able to help them with mental illness? You know, that's kind of really big, especially with COVID. You know, wondering if we was even going to be able to continue to watch professional or any kind of sports. How did you help them just kind of deal with that, or the world coming out of this pandemic? As far as would they be able to continue their professional sports?
So I think for me, with James, I- like I'm big into prayer. I'm so big, you know. So for me, that's always my go-to. And I've always taught him that you can't worry about things you have no control over, you know.
I think she's still in my thoughts, out of my brain.
That's good.
So you have to know that, understand it, and you have to be okay with it. And I think if you are, it helps you through a lot of situations, you know, even outside of football. Just talking to them, encouraging them, being there for them in whatever way. That's really all you can do, you
That's it.
know, because nobody expected COVID to be here. You
At
know, they were
all.
drafted during
During COVID.
COVID, you know, so it was a little different, you know, than the normal situation, but they got through it. You know, they got through it. So it's all in um, I think the support system is very important, you know, because you have a lot of kids that they have nobody. And back to what she was saying, like how, you know, the kids that they're by themselves, like how do you do this? You know, moving and transitioning into the NFL and trying to find a place to stay, and it's a lot.
Furniture and
Yeah,
groceries, like nothing.
it's a lot.
So it's a lot. I
So,
I 100% agree. I always tell we when I talk to AJ, you control what you can
that's
control,
right.
and
That's
that
right.
is it. And stay in prayer.
Mhm.
And I talk to him. I listen to his voice. I'm trying to hear if it's something you holding back. I'm
Mhm.
trying. I'm having really real conversations with him. How are you really feeling? I
Mhm.
don't really ask him a lot about football. I mean, I will, but I'm really asking about how are you? Are
Mhm.
you eating? Are you drinking water? How are you
Mhm.
feeling today? And are you praying? I'm always telling him, I get off, don't forget your prayers.
That's
Every
right.
time I'm hanging up
That's
with
right.
him, don't forget your prayers. And I always tell him, and pray for me too. So that's how, I mean, with COVID, it was nothing we could do about it. It was outside of our control. So just control what you can control.
Mhm.
Whatever, I always tell him, whatever God has for
That's
you,
right.
it's for you.
That's right.
So it's nothing that it's nothing that you are not doing right.
Mhm.
So just keep doing what you're doing. And however it ends up, that's how it ends up. I mean, we'll be fine either way. So
That is wonderful. So if
So I guess one of the last questions I would like to ask before we, introduce special guests and sponsors and stuff like that.
mm,
Like, what's the one thing you wish you would have known and introduced your kid to outside of football, or are you okay with the direction it went?
I think I'm pleased in um, the things that I expose my children, because I have, you know, more than one child, to, um, as far as church, as far as extracurricular activities, as far as the importance of family. I think it made them into who they are. So for me, I mean, you could always look at a situation and say, well, maybe I could have done this or I could have done that. But I think as a whole, I'm pleased with the things they were exposed to, the struggles, the everything, you know, coming up and how they turned out. Um, so I don't think I could name one thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was raising children. I was raising a young man. So the fact that this young man chose the profession of football, that's just a profession that he chose. It just happened that way. But he could have chosen anything, and I would be just as supportive
That's right.
and
That's right.
still his biggest fan, just like I am with my other kids too. Like I'm their biggest fan, and they are not athletic. But I'm still their biggest fans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the mom. No matter what the the professional trajectory is for them.
Right.
So I'm gonna be supportive of them and nurture them and try and guide them as much as possible. So if I could have known anything about football, I learned. So
Yeah.
if he was going to be an astronaut, I would have had to learn about that too.
Right. That's right.
So it
Right.
was just but that's just the life, that's
Mhm.
as being a mom, that's what we can do. But just like Tasha said, exposing him to faith, the importance of family,
Mhm.
respect, humility. Those are the things that, no matter what he decided to do, those are the things I wanted him,
Instill.
those the characters, that's the character I wanted him to have.
Mhm.
So nothing can really surprise me.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you have heard it here. This is the importance of having sisterhood, to
Mhm.
be able to sit down with your girls, to come back and share with those who are coming behind us, to impart that wisdom, that journey into the other DeSoto moms that's coming to the NFL. Because I'm
Mhm.
letting you know, we got some more coming. And so I just really appreciate you guys for coming on the show to sit down and talk to us and just
Thank you
share
for having
the
us.
journey. I
Mhm.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a special guest or sponsor, make sure you again email us at canwetalksports@gmail.com. And make sure again follow our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Right, we have Twitter, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter at canwetalksports.com. Sorry, y'all. I just get a little twisted up sometimes. But yeah,
All right. So next we have Big Mama. So we're gonna see what Big Mama got to say. You know, she always got something to say. So we'll be right back.
Get out of order with Miss Rowley. You ask mine. Hey baby, my name is Cal Deroni Baker. Some people call me Big Mama, but as you can see, I ain't Big Mama, all right? I ain't 90 years old, I ain't about to clock out. My favorite football team is the team that won last Sunday, baby. That's how I roll. Amen. Because we do things decent and in order. Hey everybody, Mama Roni is back with a fireside chat, and today's word is role model. As we look around and we see what's happening in the world of youth sports today, what we're seeing more and more, baby, is that parents, while you are your kid's first role model, we haven't been doing such a great job. I'm reading on blogs and in the newspaper and on various websites about parents just acting out, baby, just acting plain pure D out, fighting at games, pulling out guns, cussing parents out, cussing kids out, telling their kids to violently hurt other kids during the middle of a match or a competition, baby. This has gotten out of hand. This has gotten out of hand, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. Y'all don't know a lot of stuff that's about to come down, but Mama Roni gonna tell you what's about to happen. We got some places, arenas, and even youth sports arenas and complexes talking about banning parents after they act up, baby. Literally giving penalties to parents who act up during their kids' contest, competitions, and games and whatnot. That's what we're going to. We getting ready to see parents either not allowed to come into certain arenas and places and gymnasiums and facilities, or they gonna get kicked out, like you see at a soccer game where they give the players flags. That's what's about to happen with parents, baby. Miss Roni and Mama Roni just giving you the facts. I'm just here to report the news. I got my nose, well, that's my ear. I got my nose to the grindstone, my ear to the grindstone. I know what's happening at the youth sports level, the school level, the college level, and the pro level, baby. And if y'all don't start being better role models for your kids, you're going to get kicked out. And don't say Mama Roni didn't warn you about that. Now, I'm going to give you, I don't want to just talk about what the problem is. I'm going to give you 3 little solutions for what you can do going forward. Number one, realize, baby, it ain't about you. It ain't about you. Number two, unless somebody is hurting your kids, you ain't got no right to be yelling at somebody else's kids and somebody else's parents. Number three, if you think something is getting out of hand at a youth sporting event, baby, you need to go to the organizer of that event and talk to them in private about what you're seeing and what your concerns are. Now, I'm not just going to tell you what's about to happen to youth sports parents. I'm telling you how we can make it better. We can clean it up. Amen. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Y'all go out there and be a good role model, be a good parent, and also be a good citizen, baby. Until next time.
Well, Big Mama always giving us something we like. Listen, we love it. Thanks, Big Mama, for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, ladies, another great show. I love you guys. I just love you guys. So you guys, so I like we said, stay tuned. We love bringing information to you guys. We love imparting whatever we got, just mama talk to you. So don't forget to tell your auntie, your uncle, your grandpa, all of y'all to go and like and share and follow Can We Talk Sports. And we'll see y'all again next week. All right, in another episode. All right, bye-bye.
My son is Troy Pride Jr. He was a 2020 draft pick by the Carolina Panthers. Most of these coaches are out for show at every level. Okay, so let's be honest. Like you said, we have to be honest. My sons had taken all of their tests, the ACT and the SAT, like twice or three times before their sophomore year.
Angela, are there any white moms in the organization?
But I was the parent that said, if your grades ain't up to par, I'm going to beat you.